And just for you, while I turned on my champion select music.
Let's go. A Yumi ban. Are they mocking the enemy team with that ban? But there we see another Europe ban. Seems like this pick is already becoming a must ban. 2 games in a row, already banned out. First pick round.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to tell based on the second ban. If the second ban's a throwaway, then that means that those who know is not taking Percy's fouls very seriously.
And it might be down to their detriment though. The power of F ban.
That seems like a legit ban.
When it comes down to void groups, it is a worthwhile pick. And a Pike ban. It's a pick that could steamroll the game and roam very, very well, but it'd be difficult to lane on that pick if you don't know what you're doing around with it.
Oh, and you know, I almost forgot to do it last game, but this game after the draft ends, I will be hosting a prediction on Twitch where you can bet your champ points on which team you think you're going to win.
Well, now the Janna pick also seems a bit like a throwaway pick. Meanwhile, red team's still going with the serious pick of the Trundle pick. Seems no one wants to be playing against the Trundle this game. The Nasus pick gives him a scaling option and is strong into most lanes that could possibly be played.
Fast turret taker, fast objective taker as well. When you click R, you get that 1 second Q cooldown. You can kind of one-shot the dragons and the heralds and whatnot.
Now the Urgot has been picked. From what I saw, both teams are Urgot players. And the Nico coming out from the red team as well.
Yeah, Nico can be a very fast turret taker as well because of her W. The empowered auto attack can really put in some work.
Red team already acquiring more CC than we saw from either of the teams in the last game. Be interesting to see if there's any priority on CC at all, or if it's seemingly meaningless. Now another traditional mid lane pick picked out on Orianna. So far it seems like the mid lane picks are still very relevant in this.
And again, like we saw with Tway, control mages do tend to be pretty good at forcing these game times to be a little bit longer. So if you are somebody who believes that Nasus is a scaling champion, the Orianna makes sense.
And now we get the Garen. We saw the Darius, now we're gonna see a Garen. Let's see if the Garen is willing to flash like the Darius was in the last game. Although it didn't work out for the Darius when he did flash.
You know, this doesn't seem like a fantastic Garen game though, I'll be honest. I don't think that... With the 2 picks that are showing, like Garen is okay into Urgot, but not so great into Nico.
And with the Shyvana, that does show that there might be some jungle presence this game. Depends if they run Smite or not.
The prediction is up. You can bet on which side you think is going to win. Left side, blue side, those who know. And then right side, red side, Percy's pals. Put down your channel points, do a little bit of gambling.
I do personally way prefer Percy's pals draft.
See, you can say that, but at the end of the day, can a better draft really overcome that big of a rank deficit?
It is one of the bigger ones we're going to see this tournament. I just don't really see how the Garen is worth it in this. The Darius made some sense, you know, with a Caitlyn, but this team has mobility and has picks that aren't so weak on their own.
What do we think about lane matchups? I feel like I'm looking at these and I kind of feel like Garen and Nasus are both going to struggle pretty much no matter who they go up against.
Especially into Shyvana. I feel the Shyvana could either go jungle, but with Garen and Nasus, it can also perfectly lane into them as well.
Yeah, and I also know that Urgot is pretty strong against Nasus, and while Garen can lane against Urgot and Shyvana, it's definitely tough before level 6.
And you're relying on that passive to allow you to even get a lot of that CS, because you're able to heal it back up, rather than just being able to completely fight them on the wave.
Alright, let's take a look at this bet. Pretty slightly even. We've got about 6,000 channel points on blue side and 3,500 on red or so. More Percy's pals believers than I was expecting. Maybe they just like the cat. Those who don't patch their game in time. Yep. That's their team name. Yeah, again, we've got a little bit of a storyline here. The two teams are beefing with each other, and the team who is higher ranked coming in with some disrespectful bans, we'll call it.
We was on about it last game, but with this Nasus pick, it's very likely that we see some kind of demolish potentially picked up, or anything that helps with pushing the lanes when it comes to runes.
Yeah, no, Atello did spoil a little bit, but he did mention one of the strategies that came up a lot in our test games, which was taking Smite and buying a jungle pet at some point and starting to jungle. It was a strategy that we found varying levels of success with during our test games. I don't want to spoil too much. I want teams to experiment, but
The
I wonder if we'll
Shyvana
see that
seems like
again.
a pick that could capitalize on it, though.
Yeah, but even if she doesn't take it, Shyvana has always been a pretty good solo laner as well. Even in losing matchups, she can kind of just max E and then farm safely.
Now, do they want the Shyvana to get Drakes in this game? Is that going to be a priority with them, which will be in favor of them getting feats of strength, and it will align with both of them? So,
Yeah, that was something I was wondering because initially when we first started testing, it seemed like Drakes were useless because even if you full prio Drakes, the earliest you could get Soul was like 21, 22 minutes, and that was if you got all four of them on spawn. So it just seemed like Drakes were better to ignore, but now all of a sudden with feats of strength being tied to Drakes, I feel like first and second Drake are actually a lot more important.
especially with a character that can benefit off of taking the Drakes.
And we do see the Smite coming out from the Shyvana.
Let's go. And we do have some resolve secondary runes. Yet again, so there is chance for more demolishes. Although we saw none of them in the last game. But unlike in the last game, we do see the full TP come out.
Yeah, even the Shyvana who went Smite also went TP, but surprisingly, I don't think that's going to be as big of a downside as one might expect because even in games where Shyvana's not taking TP in jungle, you'll very rarely see her take Flash, I feel like. I mean, like, you'll see it sometimes, but you also see a lot of Ghost. I've seen Ignite even, so seeing Shyvana without Flash isn't really the end of the world, I don't think.
It doesn't, yeah, it's not all ending for the Shyvana. Shyvana can survive without Flash. Unlike Hui or an Oriana, the Jump has mobility, and it's not like he's going to be moving slow either. Some people like to build move speed on Shyvana as well, so it might be interesting to see if they do go down the move speed route at all. Now, an item that we could be seeing potentially as this tournament goes on is Hull Breaker. However, with the changes compared to how it used to be, it might not be as effective as it could have been in the past.
Alright, let's take a look at some runes here. Demolish for the Garen.
Let's go.
Demolish for the Nasus.
This is what we like
Demolish
to see.
for the Shyvana. No demolish on the Urgot. Alright, we have 3 demolishes this game, so maybe a little bit of a faster paced game. Ooh, this is my first time hearing the Noxus music. This is kind of fancy.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
We currently are seeing Urgot into the Garen and the Nasus laning into the Nico. The Nico seems to have gone to bot lane instead of Shyvana.
Oh, look at this. It seems like Percy's pals have a strategy. Check it out. They're all hiding in between their tier 1s and tier 2s so as not to give away their position. A strategy that we've been seeing a lot is that teams will oftentimes run forward in the lane as far as possible, try to figure out who they're laning against, and if they don't like the matchup, they'll do a full reset with one of their teammates. They'll both reset and then run down the opposite lanes, because that doesn't break any rules. As long as you don't run through that jungle, as long as both people are attached to a lane at all times, that is one way to reset. But we're seeing that red side already with the counter strategy, hiding all of their lanes. Pretty smart.
Do you think these lane matchups changes any of the interactions in this game?
I think if I think both teams are probably pretty happy. I mean, like, I think you would have preferred to see Urgot into Nasus and Nico into Garen, but I don't think that either of what we got is losing enough that teams will feel pressured to lane swap.
It'd be interesting to see if anyone does fall for the Nico count your minions.
Now, what is important to note is that Shyvana started Doran's shield. Doran's shield is unique with the jungle item, so if Shyvana was planning... Ooh, wait, we got a good trade top lane. Garen flashed already. But if Shyvana was planning on buying that jungle pet at any point, she would have to sell the Doran shield. If she was going to go for an early jungle pet, you most likely would have seen, you know, like a long sword, refillable potion, something along those lines.
But with how this lane is going, the Doran shield does seem like a necessary pickup if you're going to get trinked out so regularly.
Also interesting to note that the Nico appears to be going AP. Not what I necessarily would have expected. I'm not too surprised, but I feel like I had AD Nico in mind for some of these, for a little bit more lane dominance against some of these matchups.
I feel like the Nico is still able to win lane pressure against the Nasus though. I don't think it really matters too much into Nasus necessarily this early into the game. And once you get the Q stacked up, that might switch into the Nico's disadvantage, but at this early stage, Nico being able to get multiple targets hit, especially in the first few levels, probably is going to mean lane advantage for Nico early on.
Yeah, that is one thing I was worried about, though, is as you get later into the game, the advantage of AD Nico is that as you get more attack speed, that means you get more of that empowered W proc, and whenever you get that, you get some movement speed, which would help her kite out the Nasus, especially if Nasus is going to be eventually getting, you know, 2-3 points in that Wither. When you go AP Nico, it's really tough to get some movement speed. I think we're going to get to a point where Nasus might be able to just click W and run her down, force out a flash or an ultimate with pretty low effort.
Orianna consistently hitting the QW over the wave into the Shyvana now.
Yeah, Jorgen is suffering a little bit because Brainer is the highest ranked person in this lobby. He is Emerald, so showing a little bit of lane dominance.
You might see the Shyvana very quickly leave this lane if it's going to keep turning out like this.
Yeah, even with the fleet footwork and the Doran shield, doesn't seem like it's enough.
Isn't really able to step up onto this wave. Although this Nico is getting some nice health trades, this Nasus has still been able to farm reasonably well.
Yeah, Nasus opting for the flash instead of the ghost. I feel like the thing with Nico is that, like, Nasus has the one Wither, but if Nasus clicks Wither and then starts sprinting at the Nico lands a CC chain, maybe she can get out, because Nasus doesn't have the ghost. Oh, wait, maybe a solo kill? Ooh, flash out for Nasus.
The level up heal. Nasus, I'm pretty sure Nasus leveled up midway through that exchange. Now on the top side of the map, we just have two beefcakes hitting into each other and just living their best life.
Yeah, the thing that's funny about Garen Urgot is that levels 1 through 5, absolutely nothing happens, and then level 6, both champions get executes, and so we might be able to see a little bit more pressure coming out of that top side once they both get their ultimates.
Now the Nasus has been able to get back to the lane and hasn't missed out on any of the CS really. He's a little bit behind the tempo, but in comparison to the lane opponent of the Nico, not really.
You know, I just noticed a really interesting decision, and that was, we saw earlier the Orianna poked out the Shyvana. Turns out that when Shyvana reset, she didn't teleport, so we have a TP advantage mid lane now. Now Shyvana lost about a wave for that decision, but with that TP advantage, we now see 2 TPs to 1 for red side. I wonder if that'll play any kind of factor later on.
Now this current laning phase for Nico does seem rather dominant for the Nasus, but as long as that Nasus is able to stack up its Qs, it is still relatively favourable. in terms of scaling.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even the... Ooh,
Getting the
wait,
turret
all in.
shot, the all-in coming in, but the dash isn't hit. Should be able to just walk this off for the Orianna. But it does mean that the Shyvana gets a chance to actually play in this lane due to that trade.
Yeah, she was able to push out, and it looks like red side wants to go for these void grubs.
I feel like it's a massive advantage for them. Now the Nasus does pop ultimate, does mean that he should be able to get out of this relatively safely. But losing that ultimate so early on after turning 6 does favour the Nico, especially having such a negative trade already after popping it.
Yeah, and it does look like red side will be able to pick up those void grubs.
And
Yeah, we're going to see
relatively
the
quickly
reset
back
from Nasus. I was worried about that. If Nasus didn't reset, I feel like it could have been a possible dive angle for the Nico. But effectively what happened is that we traded the void grubs for 2 mid turret plates.
The Nico might be able to get 1 plate back, but it does feel like the plates and just getting any kind of turret progress early on is massive. Especially if this Shyvana isn't able to get out of this, but it doesn't seem like there's too much of a threat at this stage of the game.
Blue side went for a lane swap. Sent the Ori on the top lane.
I think this is favourable for the Shyvana at this point in the game. I know the Shyvana's behind, but I feel like the melee into melee matchup might give the Shyvana at least some kind of chance of the tower to farm.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the thought process was. I wonder if Orianna was maybe worried about, now that Shyvana's level 6, her being able to be run down. Maybe feels a little bit better about spacing out the Urgot, who only has that singular kind of short ranges dash. But
He has already got it, in the trades, and I think it was partly also down to the timing. I feel like the Garen was just in a better position to react mid and get plates, whereas the Orianna wasn't. So it might have just been in trade because I know that the enemy team was missing.
Urgot needs to be careful here. Orianna has Shockwave. She could look for an all-in here.
Hits the W, Shockwave does come in. He's able to get out of that though.
Yeah, good buffer by the Urgot.
Yeah, that will force him to back though, and he's going to lose some ways to that.
Look at this. Garen's abusing Shyvana's garbage wave clear. He's just kind of like pushing in the wave, walking up, proccing Demolish, and then leaving.
Especially with the item advantage. Shyvana hasn't got any kind of AP or extra damage yet.
Yeah, still holding on to that TP makes you wonder, because at this point she could have TP'd earlier and it wouldn't have mattered.
And you have that smite, which we haven't really seen the use out of yet.
Well, we did see it to secure the void grubs. Made it a little bit faster.
Garen takes the turret shot, but is buffered partly by the shield.
Yeah, Shyvana ulted just to clear the wave. Oh, flash E from the Urgot, going for an all-in here. Misses the ultimate, didn't chain the ultimate properly to the E.
He's able to get a decent trade off of it, but really could have seen the Urgot have a full-on all-in there. Now the silence is landing onto the Shyvana, all the way deep in the lane, does allow the Garen to get the kill on the ultimate. Seems like the Shyvana just stepped up too greedily for that wave, to be honest. Already popping the ultimate multiple times.
And if you're red side, that first blood feels really bad. You really would have wanted Urgot to get that first blood, because based on the way that this game is going, I think that blue side is going to be the one taking the turret, so the
first blood is kind of needed.
The path to get the feat of strength seems to be a little bit lost for red now.
And the chat, the old chat out of the Shyvana. Ooh,
Yeah,
seems like the
maybe
Shyvana might be doing off of that.
Yeah, maybe a mental edge coming in for blue side.
Orianna's now switched back into Shyvana. It seems like they are happy with either of the matchup.
Check this out. First item completion in the game is actually the Nico with the Luden's Companion. We'll see if she can get any advantage against Nasus.
Yeah, true. The new Luden's Companion's power spike might be able to actually make some of these threats until Nasus actually finally turn into kills. If Nasus doesn't get a back off after a shove.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Nasus is level 9. Like, check this out. He's going to take so much damage, but he's just going to lifesteal it all back up.
He does also have ultimate. It's not really any threat. He's not even forced to use ultimate. The kill is potentially going to come through here.
He goes flash.
Flash follow and the Q does land.
Alright, my bad. I misspoke. I underestimated her.
The Luden's Companions, man. And Nasus isn't even able to fall by on his back. That means he's going to come down to lane and still with a negative advantage. But the Oriana has to hit Shockwave yet again. But
Well, Shyvana with Nerves of Steel not clicking R there.
Late footwork healing, orange shield healing. Barely been able to squeak out alive. Nasus is going to lose his TP again. Which means that red team still keep the advantage, but Shyvana finally forced to use TP. That leaves only one plate left in the mid lane. And with how we've seen the Shyvana, that means this turret is probably going to go down first.
Yeah, well, it's the Oriana mid lane this time. Let's see if they go for the same play as last time, where they just go for the Void Grubs. Yeah, here they are. Shyvana just ulting the Void Grubs right away, has the smite for the secure. Don't think there's much Blue can do about this.
They do need these Void Grubs to be able to keep up, but the Garen's going to be able to find them out here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. Nico TP'd in, so they have numbers advantage. Unless Nasus can just take this entire turret with his ultimate or something, but his ult's not even up yet. Oh, Blue stole one.
Blue stole one, even with the smite. You would have thought they would have made sure to secure them. Then instead of going to finish it, they are looking to turn. They are a bit disjointed, but the other guy is able to find the target.
Yeah, I mean, they have to turn. Like, if you're gonna lose a Void Grub like that, that means nobody got a stack for a feat of strength. You have to get something from this.
Oriana's gonna get out with the speed boost. Oriana still seems interested, even though he doesn't have the ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think Red Side should have committed a little bit harder because check out Nasus. He's gonna probably take this entire turret now. His ult is up. He could use it if he wanted to. Yep, there it is.
Yep, just as you call it. And there's no TP in response because of the Nico TPing up and the Shyvana having to TP to save the mid lane turret. Doesn't get all of the turret on this push, but he probably should be able to in the next one.
Yeah, he's gonna get all of it because Nico doesn't have ultimate. If the Nasus is confident enough, he would be able to take all of it right here.
And that would bring them the advantage. Oh, and the Urgot gets caught by the Oriana, and the Nasus also secures the turret.
Yeah, this is a huge swing for blue side.
Swing. And with mid lane only having one plate left, and the Garen being switched back in, that might be able to be took in one singular push, which in wave is currently crashing.
Yeah, see, if Red Side was just able to take 6 Void Grubs, this game would look completely different because even though blue side has this turret advantage, if Red managed to take that 6 Void Grub and get one of these dragons, that would have been the feat of strength, but now it just almost feels impossible.
Our red side players are collapsing onto it, but the miss from the Nico might allow the Garen just to be able to get out of this alive. Yeah, with the blast cone, that seals the deal. He's able to get out completely safe. And that leaves the top turret completely exposed after the Urgot was killed. Shyvana is interested in the Drake, but Garen and Nasus are still around.
Yeah, and they have vision on the Drake. They could collapse on this if they wanted.
Seems like Shyvana's already decided to back off. Oh no, she goes back onto it, and the Nasus and the Garen are already collapsing. Garen being a little bit tentative to walk into River. Does get the silence down, but the follow-up isn't there. With the Nico ult, they should be able to get the Shyvana out, but it is time wasted in the end from the red side.
Yeah, but it's not like Blue's doing anything with it. Like, Nasus did move over, so he's not pushing bot. Nico's gonna be here to catch the mid wave.
Oriana hiding in the side just to take the farm. Does seem like blue side is very much turning these laning advantages into their favor with a 2k gold lead. Rather than the last game, although there's not really a kill lead, the team that is ahead is still the team with the turrets.
Yeah, and I completely forgot that blue side got first blood, so by taking that first turret, they did get the entire feat of strength. You can see the tier 2 boots coming in. It's looking a little bit dire for Red Side. I feel like at this point, their only hope is maybe they can win 3v3 if they can find a way to force it somewhere. Maybe over the Rift Herald.
We did see it at the Void Grubs, but when all 3 of them are together, they can work quite well, but yet another ultimate coming out from the Oriana. Although at this point in the game, the damage doesn't seem like it's enough to get a kill. It is still a threat, and Oriana is constantly winning this push now into the Urgot, which we weren't necessarily seeing last time they switched into each other.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting to the point in the game where Red Side's just, they've got to try something. I mean, like, you gotta go for a gank, or you have to, like, try to just full send it for the Herald when the waves look, like, decent. You have to do something, otherwise you're just gonna bleed out and lose to these demolished procs.
Wano is roaming up to the top side of the map, but Nasus is completely alone on the bot side with ultimate available as well.
Oh, TP coming in.
And Urgot's already low. The Garen might be able to just run at this and silence the Urgot for a free kill.
Yeah, moving
But
speed from Oriana.
They're going away, but yeah. Silent into rundown. Garen's got Berserkers and Stride Breaker. You're not getting away from this.
Double kill.
He could just respond to the Nasus, but losing 2 deaths converts into a near 4k gold lead. Both players available down to run down mid.
Interesting
Niko's probably not
decision. They're
gonna
going to go
go
for the Dragon instead of the Herald. I don't know how I feel about that. With the turrets like this, if you get the Herald, you pretty much win the game. Like 2 crashes would seal the deal.
They probably could have, considering that the Oriana and the Garen were both topside. I know the Nasus can probably take the objective quickly. And the Nico being alive does seem like they might
Wait,
be
Nico
able to
could go
hold
for an
on
all in
to
here.
it.
Yeah.
Is that the
Oh,
final
didn't
to-
chain the CC right.
No,
Oh, it's
and he's
close.
able to. And the Oriana finds the ultimate shockwave as well in return.
If Nico just layered the E correctly on top of the R, that could have been really good.
Urgot is trying to find one of them here.
No ultimate though. Can't really do anything.
Oriana is still nearby if Urgot went in on. Yeah, the item advantage this time at this point in the game is very much in favor of blue side, and that bot turret is about to start taking a lot of damage. The Urgot might not be able to save this turret. The Nasus at this point probably can solo win. 700 gold in the pocket. No real threat from the Urgot.
Look at Nasus just life stealing off the minions.
Flashes out and Nico isn't able to get in range in time to keep him in nearby. Garen might find Shyvana here. Silence already. Ult is available.
Yeah, interesting decision for Shyvana not to press R there. She couldn't have
Garen
been
is
silenced for
stopping
that
the rest
long.
of the base, but if the enemy team spends too much effort on this Garen, the Oriana's got a wave in topside. Nasus has a wave in mid. They do get the kill on the Garen, but these waves are shoved in their face yet again. So they can't find anything else off of this. Oriana already with another good trade onto Urgot as well on the tower. And the ultimate lands. Oh, he gets out.
Yeah, the damage is done. That tier 2 is going to go down.
And Nasus has a wave in mid. So it does survive this one wave.
She could have taken that with a little bit of balls.
Is there any response for this Nasus at this point? Now that the Phantom Dancers came through for the Garen, he's pretty much going to be able to choose any target and just run them down across the whole map. His sticking power is so
At this point,
great
we're
now.
kind of just waiting for the inevitable, unless Nico gets like a random 3-man ultimate or something.
We could see the team for some reason opt into the Atakan and potentially lose the game off of it again.
That would be really funny.
Shyvana forced to ult away, and the gap close is still going to come through because the Garen's nearby as well. Slow down from the Oriana Q. They are wasting a lot of time for this chase though. Nico was able to get a wave in mid, and Urgot's able to get a wave in bot, but neither of them have demolished though.
Yeah, Shyvana's pretty hard to chase. Her W gives her a lot of movement speed.
Although the collapse onto the Nico from the Garen might be able to still get them at least one kill out of this. But at least the Shyvana gets an execute. To be fair, the Nico was able to get a good trade on the Oriana, but at this point, all the players were nearby. That was just an overgreed to even try and push the turret from Nico.
I think blue side might look for an end here, by the way. Nasus and Oriana TP mid.
And they do all have TP available. It's only Urgot alive. They have a wave in mid.
Okay, Oriana sending the TP to Atakan.
They
Maybe a
could've just
questionable
ended.
decision.
With Nasus having ult, they probably would have ended, and Garen's dead. I don't know if 2 of them is enough to really take Atakan.
Yeah, let's take a look. Maybe Nasus has enough lifesteal or something? Oh, but Oriana's taking so much damage right now.
Atakan is targeting Nasus, so they have a chance of taking it.
Oh, I think
They
red
do
side
see what
knows
they're
what's up.
doing.
So yeah, they're just
No,
fully
the
committing
AoE
topside.
damage. Yeah, AoE damage on the Oriana. Yet another game we see a team trying to take Atakan at near 20, but it doesn't seem like, especially with only 2 players, like you're able to take it this early on. And with the Rift Herald, and with all the subjective bounties on the map, although they do just fall because of them getting in the window, having this Rift Herald does give them a chance to win. If they find any kills, they can actually just run it down one lane at this point.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, you take another look at it, all the tier 1s are gone for blue side.
But having that weak mid tier is still very, very threatening with a Nasus.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, because the format is just first to take an inhibitor, there is still a world where we see Nico 3-man ultimate into red side just randomly wins the game with Rift Herald.
I also feel like red team do have a nice mid-game power spike if they're able to hit it successfully. And this Nico is still relatively strong. And Urgot having an execute always means he's a viable option.
Check it out, Urgot's got that hole breaker that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, even though he's not the greatest split pusher, that will still allow him to have some impact on the side lane with the power empowerment of the minions. It seems like blue team aren't really sure what they want to do at this point in the game as well. They're all standing around these objectives, not really pushing out lanes like they were early on in the game. It seems like they know that they are close to being able to win this game, but they don't know what the decisive move is for them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just overconfident.
We've seen this 1v1 between Garen and Urgot before. And
Yeah, Garen's down a level.
Recently. I'm not sure he wants to take this. Orianna is nearby, so it's going to be able to run out of there, but I'm not sure what their strategy is here. They don't seem to be able to get any of these wave puts in their favor. Although Nasus does have time on his own now in the top side of the map.
Yeah, it seems like the game is stalled. They're kind of in this position where they feel like if they take the dragon, it won't do anything. They are probably scared of taking Otacon. Oh, let's see.
The Orianna instantly turn. The coordination coming out from Percy pauses and macking it around. They find the Garen. All they need is a single bit of damage on the Orianna, but just like the Nico, both get away with a sliver. Now the TP responds to the top lane. Nasus instantly takes a turret, but the Urgot should be able to deny him from taking anything more.
No, it's just
But
a Nasus moment.
is able to pop ult and is able to get the kill onto the Urgot.
Yeah, I think Urgot misplayed that mid lane fight a little bit. I think he could have killed the Orianna and trusted his team to take out the Nasus. Maybe we would have seen a turn there.
Nico catches the waves and the game settles back down.
Yeah,
But
again, it
Orianna
still
does
just
not
feels like blue
concentrate
is
the
a little
ult.
bit dizzy.
Orianna has smite. She can take this straight if she's able to pop ult. Maybe
She'll
not
be able
even
to take
need
it
ult
anyway.
take it. It's going to be slow, but there is no real response from blue team to deny any favor. Nasus is choosing to take red buff. Man is double buffed. This means he can just push any side lanes at this point. Luckily for red side, Urgot is alive just in time so that they can respond to both top and mid lanes being close to their turrets.
Man,
But
Otacon
this
almost
is
feels like
weird.
he's mocking blue side right now. I feel like he's just sitting there and neither team can take it. Oh, but Blue's gonna
games
try to
in a
commit for
row.
it again. Let's see if red side can figure out what's going on.
And with all 3 of them there, then the
Oh,
Urgot
no.
has no idea. They have no vision in the area, the red side. All 3 players collapsed onto Urgot. That now means probably a free Atakan in response.
Yeah, red side spam pinging mid lane. I don't know if they can do anything.
They do have Rift Herald.
Oh, they have yeah, you're right. I completely forgot. Yeah, Shyvana has the Rift Herald.
Yet again, this Atakan is still going down slowly. Although they might be able to take it. Orianna is already having
Oh
to
no,
recall.
oh no.
Garen's died after the Oriannas came off of it. Nasus
There's
wasn't
no
the one
way.
tanking it. The
Bunny
charge
baby,
is
thank you
gonna
for the rate of 34.
move to mid lane. They do have at least one demolish as well. Orianna finds a shockwave. Was able to force away by the Nico. Orianna dodges out of there. Nico's actually winning the trades.
Oh, but they're
And
not
that's
gonna
an
go
open
for the
inhibitor.
end. Nasus soloed Otacon. Oh man, I really feel like red could have ended there.
They do
They're
have
not
an
going
open
for
inhibitor.
it. Why are they not going for the end?
I feel like they think the Nasus was already back, but they didn't realize.
No,
And now with the free
red could have won the
revive.
game there.
And now the free revive comes in for blue side. This is very difficult. Red's team is going to have to play Wave Clear Simulator until this and wait it out at this point.
You know what's crazy is that this same thing kind of happened last game too. The losing team, Firelight Legends, they did have a window to end the game, and they just didn't fully commit
At
to
least
it.
this time they've got the Atacam buff, unlike last time. But this buff doesn't seem like it's worth it if you're gonna take this long to take it.
Yeah, see, the problem is that they're so scared because they're open Nexus, right? Like, and unlike the new patch where the Nexus turrets can revive, that tier 3 is never coming back. This is open Nexus for the rest of the game.
Now, unlike with the team in the last game, Percy Pals don't necessarily seem as aware of their vision game. Last time around, the team always seemed to have at least some kind of vision. Percy Pals seem very low on vision right now. But if any of them are able to sneak up there and place a ward, we could very much see the exact same thing happen as last game now with open inhib.
You know what I would like to
And
see
they have
here?
TP advantage as well. They're 3-to-1 TPs right now.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna happen. I feel like this is a bit of a stretch, but the right play for red side would actually be if Shyvana sells the door and shield, buys the jungle pet, because we're past 20-minute mark, so there's no like penalties for it, and then the jungle pet gives you a lot of sustain against jungle monsters. If she got the jungle pet, they could probably just like take the Baron, because if blue side is gonna sit here and just turtle on their inhib,
Even with the uncompleted, and it'll be able to give them even more pushing power, which is probably their biggest weakness right now. Is the enemy team with the Orianna can wave clear any push that they try to make.
Okay.
Out your minions.
Yeah, I mean, like if red side manages to take Baron here, the game will surely end. One way or the other. Like either red will just win with the Baron, or red will be overconfident with the Baron and blue will win. But it's like, we'll see somebody win. Maybe blue side thinking that as long as Orianna protects the back door, they can use the Otacon buff to end, but it actually just faded off. Yeah, they completely wasted the buff.
They sat around that inhibitor too much. I understand why they're scared of it, but Shyvana's trying to come in and take it all by herself. I feel like the Orianna should be able to kill this device on her own. With the Garen and the Nasus there coming back as well. That is the inhibitor halfway through.
They got Garen's
and they could
TP.
do the same play again. The Shyvana didn't have a ward or anything. If the Shyvana was able to place a ward anywhere nearby, they could all just TP on it and just bait.
Yeah, that also would have worked if Shyvana was AP, which she is not. A little bit of BM from Nico there.
The Urgot is going to have to respond potentially here. One more wave and they might be able to pressure the turret. If the Urgot nearby though, there isn't really any threat at this point in the game. The gold lead still sits at 4k, but without the Orianna, the gold lead feels way smaller.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe having more kills is just a curse. Who knows?
It also feels like a waste to sit Orianna back. I know, because she's now got no gold in the last 3 minutes or so, because she's just been sat around this inhibitor. And that seems like the gold advantage, really. The most of the damage in these team fights has been coming out from the Orianna when it's a 3v3.
That is the most British thing you've said this entire stream so far, by the way. The Orianna's sat around. that is not a sentence that you'll ever hear somebody say in the US, that's for sure.
Yeah, again, blue team do not necessarily know how they want to approach this, especially with the open inhib. They do switch a Garen into defense instead, but they still don't necessarily seem like they have an objective in mind, other than protecting the inhib.
Looks
And
like red side are
seem
finally
like
making some progress. Urgot's pushing top lane.
Yeah, the Orianna is going to come back in response, but...
Wait, look at Nico. Look at the Raptor.
Decent damage. Count your minions.
Yeah, tried to sneak in. The Garen spotted her out.
But that is now a top lane turret halfway killed. That is some more progress for red team. They do have to respond in kind to Nasus though. Nasus has ultimate available.
Yeah, he's just
Shyvana's
gonna pop
going to
it.
be back. I'm not sure Shyvana's going to be able to defend this alone.
Yeah, no, wait a second.
Urgot's not responding. Nico's not responding.
Well,
Nico's finally on the way. Yeah, Nasus have just popped ult.
yeah, that's an underwhelming way for the game to end.
These games could end in a matter of seconds if no one responds to a TP or lane push. The blue team were able to close it out, but you're looking at their future matches. They're going to need to figure out what they want to do once they get into the 20-minute mark of the game.